Hey, what's up, fellas? Happy St. Patty's Day. I'm here in the House of Gains. Just finished my afternoon workout. Here's some of the toys. Yes, I throw weights around and dummies and the rest of that stuff. I got a question in on Getter, which I closed that account. I was a bit surprised. I actually got a question, so I'm going to try to answer it here on YouTube. Um, I enjoy some of the things that go on together, but it just seems like a consistent daily cry about how things aren't fair. And first off, this video in for the main part is for young men, especially the guys in the MGTOW community. But for the rest of you, how can you be surprised if you're over the age of 10 that the world's not fair? That the good guys don't always win, that the bad guys usually get to control and run things, that there are crooked people, crooked politicians, crooked cops, crooked doctors, all that kind of stuff. I don't understand all the delusions and why people like to run around, oh, it's not fair, oh, I didn't get treated right. What are you talking about? It's the way it's been forever. So, anyways, I got asked, and they did just send me an email, email notification to ask me if I'd restart my Getter account, which I'll probably do a little bit later today. But they wanted to know, they some of the younger men on Getter asked me to explain how I and why I ended up getting married at my age. Now, for those of you who don't know, in 2016 I retired for the actually in 2012 I retired for the second time and hung out till 2016 when I realized I didn't want to die with a fat out of shape wife who was probably the most angry little person I'd ever been with. So I picked out a place, El Paso, Texas. Never been there before in my life. Uh, Told everybody goodbye in August of 2016. Jumped in the car and drove to El Paso. I've never been here before in my life. But before I left, I decided what I wanted. And what I wanted is I wanted to make sure that when I dated with intent. And since I'm twice retired, I don't have to work another day in my life. I don't have to worry about money. I'm not quite over 6'2". I'm right on the cusp of being 6'2" and a half, but it's between 6'2" and a half and below. Hazel eyes. About 230, 230, 235 pounds. I stay in pretty good shape for my age. I'm 56. And what I wanted to do is to find a traditional wife. So, threw my shit in the car, said goodbye, and drove my ass here to El Paso, Texas. I live on the west side. I'm not ostentatious. I have always lived below my means. I'm not trying to do anything other than what I did. I'm reading my stuff. I wrote myself a roadmap so I wouldn't screw this up. When I got here, I had a thing. I put it on the refrigerator, and if I'd ever have a date at the house where I'd cook for a woman or I'd talk to her or something like that, and it was getting to the point to where we did the interview process. They passed the first interview process. I had it on there in big letters at the top of anything. I personally would never ever date a single mother. Single mother comes with too many. I'm gonna just be blunt. Too many fucking problems. Not only problems with her, problems with her children, problems with her family, and of course, problems with the other men who gave her those children. And it can be more than one, which means she was. I'll bring up Brenda. Jesus Christ, this woman was a fucking train wreck. She had three kids by three different daddies, and they were all. Anyways, let's just move on. So single mothers were out of the question. If you were a single mother, I didn't even try to date you. Um, what did I do? What did I do? So, how I decided the type of woman I wanted. I don't want, at my height, I want a woman that I can dance with. You can't dance with the little, we call them the shorties. You call them chapas, pequeñas. Here down in the Southwest, they use the Spanish is primarily at least 45%, and English is probably 55% of the language down here. And I'm less than 12% of the population. So, and I have hazel eyes, so I kind of stick out. So, what I wanted to do is put a list of things up of the way I wanted to date. And when I mean a date with intent, the intent was to find a woman, a good woman, and marry her. And to make sure that she understood that there's benefits to getting married to me and that I wasn't some bum just looking for a free ride. So uh, for me, the first date was always a coffee date. And if you think I'm a bum and I don't have any money and you won't go out on me on a coffee date, well, then you can kiss my ass and I move on. By the way, there's at least, at a minimum, 3 women to 1 man down here in El Paso. And that's another reason I came down here. So, anyways, and everything set up. I have height and weight requirements. Women want to require us to be 6 foot tall, have a six pack, and a six-figure income. Well, I had requirements too. You couldn't be a delusional. You couldn't be a delusional modern woman. You couldn't be somebody who was just career focused. You couldn't have kids. You couldn't be fat and out of shape. You had to have your own money. You had to pay half of the bills. You had to be willing to look for a partner. And what I was looking for is what they call as an executive marriage. Um, and I had no problems telling a girl no, get the hell out of here. I had no problems with up women getting crazy. You can't get crazy with me. You can't kick my ass. You can't tell me what to do. Anyways, let's digress. So the first date was always a coffee date, and that coffee date was an interview. That interview was, did she meet the requirements I had? Did she have the personality? Was she feminine? Was she the biggest turnoff for me is a masculine woman. I mean, what are you trying to prove? What are you make money? Okay, congratulations, but you live down here. I, I have the ability to travel. I have the ability to do anything I want with the rest of my life. But what I want to do is live my life in a quiet manner in this part of the country. The winters here are better. The summers are a little bit brutal, but hey, it's a trade-off. So, anyways, and if you pass the coffee date, and this is it, the coffee date was an interview. It's height, weight, personality, that. And if I decided that we were going to go on a second date, and no, ladies, you don't get to decide if we're going on a second date or not unless you invited me. Uh, you had to have a job, you had to have your shit together, you had to be in shape, you couldn't have a bad attitude, you couldn't be carrying around all of this man hate. So, anyways, if you got to a second or a third date, then I was moving with intent. Um, I would sit you down and we would do a credit check in front of ourselves. Experian, TransUnion. I can't remember the other one right now to save my life. And I would do it in front of them. And I would show them that I have an 800 plus, yeah, pretty cool, 800 plus credit score. And what that does is that proves that I pay my bills. I show up on time. If I tell you I have money, I can show you and prove to you where it's at. I pay my bills. I do the right thing when it's in regards to money. I'm not a bum. You don't have to worry about that. The other thing I would show them is the benefits that come with me. I come with a program called SBP, Survivors Benefit Plans. It means my wife, Maria, will be taken care of for the rest of her life. I also come with dependency indemnity care. Includes uh, medication, includes medical care, includes all kinds of stuff, and there's money to get me buried, but it's not money to where I have to be afraid of eating at home. Somebody bumping me off. Um, Again, I cannot tell you how. For me, the most confusing part of it is how upset and confused some women would be when I would tell them, "You don't qualify. You're not what I'm looking for." I cannot tell you. And the utter amount of lies that the women would tell were at some point in time, overwhelming. I cannot tell you when I met my wife, she stuck out. I mean, it was like someone was running around with she had a light over her head, and it was terribly easy to see that she was the right one. Um, Fat, out of shape, combative, not feminine, couldn't cook, had a boss type attitude, like she was going to be running things. No. Uh, Too much makeup, the crazy friggin' eyebrows. I can't tell you. Uh, the eyelashes, too much makeup. Makeup is for special occasions. Too much lipstick, too much I'm a bad boss chick stuff. Yeah, fuck out of here. You make money? Well, if you make so much money, lady, and you're so important, why aren't you retired? You know, the most valuable thing we have in our lives is time. Time. Time to do what the fuck we want to do. So, anyways, and hell no, single mothers, Jesus Christ, fuck no, hell no, too much damage, too much problems, no way. And I encourage you to stay away from. Once she passed the credit check, then we had to have medical checks. Medical checks include both mental and physical. I'm not tying my ship. I'm not tying myself to somebody who can't take care of themselves, mentally or physically. So once that was passed, uh, then it was time to get what's called a prenuptial agreement. And yes, you can say that there's holes in prenuptial agreements, but I also have what's called a T&E, an attorney. And if you don't know about taxes and estate planning, then you don't really have enough money to worry about it. So let's move on. So prenuptial agreement was with her attorney, my attorney, and everybody sat down at a table and we decided this is what's what, who paid for what you're entitled to beforehand. Because some woman ain't coming into my life and taking all my shit. And I was bestowing my last name on her. Um, it's all signed and videotaped in front of both attorneys, so somebody can't come back and say, "Hey, you know what? I didn't know what was going on. I felt like I was under duress." And da da da. And of course, once she passed all the tests, then I felt confident to open the gate. Got her a big ass engagement ring. Got down on one knee in front of her mother and proposed to her in the kitchen, which shocked the hell out of both of them. Told her she could have the house she wanted and the car she wanted. After that, we settled into our lives, and that's how I've been doing it. But I don't, I don't put up with shit from anybody. Uh, my wife and I are partners. Um, she pays half the bills. She makes, well, she doesn't have, but she makes at least double of what I do, and I have no problem sending her off to work every day. So it is what it is. Just wanted to let that out there. For you young men that are out there, if you want a wife, and we need families, and I hope you consider trying to raise a family, but you have to protect yourself. And God bless the MGTOW community. God bless those young men, and they've been abused and betrayed and whatever it was. Oh, the other thing is body count. I ask them straight up to their face their body count, and if they you know what? If you're on your mission, if you're on your plan, you can see these hoes coming from a long time away, and you cannot make a hoe a wife. There's no way. And she's riding the CNC, get rid of her. Don't waste your time. The most valuable thing you have as a man is time. And yes, you can change somebody's life for the better. But um, it is what it is. You guys stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can. If you can't, take care of yourself. Like a fart in a G string from West Texas, El Paso. I'm out of here. Bye bye.